What is up, everyone? Corn O'Keefe back yet again on the Island of Verity, and as the title implies, I'm bringing you the difference between destructive capability and attack potency, aka destructive capacity and attack power. In this video, I will be going over what destructive capability is, and I'll be going over attack power and giving some examples of what a character can actually do to be considered a certain level of attack power, even if that certain character doesn't destroy something or show a certain level of destructive capability. So without further ado, let's get right down to business. Now, as for destructive capability, well, as its name implies, it's essentially, well, what the character is capable of destroying. Pretty simple. For example, Piccolo, during the Saiyan Saga, he casually destroyed the moon. That would be a good example of flat out and concrete destructive capability. And obviously, yes, destructive capability can count as a character's attack power if that character only has destructive feats of destroying, a building, moon, planet, etc., etc. However, destructive capability is not the only deciding factor to determine the attack power of a specific character, and destructive capability is not the exact same thing as attack power as a whole. Yes, it can be a way to determine a character's level of attack power, but it's clearly not the only way. One example of how you can determine a character's level of attack power would be if that specific character has shown that he or she can damage another character who has a specific level of durability. Let's use Deadpool for example. Deadpool has tanked a rocket that was powerful enough to level the entire Baxter building, so easily a large building level durability feat right there. And he essentially tanked it. It may have left a couple scratches, but for the most part, his durability tanked this large building level explosion. Well, you have characters like Captain America and Wolverine who can physically damage Deadpool with their physical strikes and actually do more damage to Deadpool's body than a large building level rocket did. So if Deadpool tanks this large building level blast with maybe a couple scratches, and yet Wolverine and Captain America can easily damage him and hurt him more than this blast ever could, well, logically, Captain America and Wolverine would have to be punching with more force than what was in that large building level rocket. So the attack power of their strikes and their physical blows would logically be around the large building ranges, obviously above the baseline requirements. If they are able to physically damage a character who can tank a large building level explosion and only have a couple scratches, if that. And that's just one example of how you could determine a character's level of attack power. Another example would be the amount of energy or force that a character can actually generate. Maybe they can generate a lot of energy, but they haven't shown that they can destroy something per se. Even though that level of energy that they generated could actually be calculated to be a specific level of attack power. For example, Street Fighter's Chun-Li generated enough energy to the point where she created a large crater in the ground. The amount of energy that she actually generated was actually calculated out to be enough energy to destroy a small town. And I will leave a link to that calculation down below if you're interested in checking it out for yourself. So yes, some characters that only create little craters in the ground with the amount of energy that they produce or generate can actually be a much higher level of attack power than simply crater level, folks. Heck, characters who draw in thunderstorms with their own power also fall under this. Heck, the amount of energy that is actually in a thunderstorm is absolutely insane, and some characters can actually generate thunderstorms just from simply punching. And while they may not always destroy something, there is a chance they may still be generating enough energy in that thunderstorm that is equivalent to the amount of energy necessary to destroy something like a city or a mountain, etc., etc. And that would obviously correlate to their attack power. Obviously, you don't have to destroy something in order to be considered a certain level of attack power. That's the point I'm mainly trying to make in this video. That there is obviously a difference between simply destroying something, aka destructive capability, and overall attack potency. And attack power doesn't necessarily have to do with just a character's physical capabilities or how much energy they could generate with their body either. Heck, it could correlate to a gun, a laser pistol, a blade, etc., etc. For example, let's say a character tanks a nuclear bomb and you're having trouble damaging this character with your physical blows, but you take out your 9mm or some type of laser pistol, and let's say it's in fiction, obviously. Let's say this laser pistol or gun damages this nuclear bomb level durability, but your physical blows couldn't. Well, logically, your weaponry would have that level of attack power. It would have to have more energy or produce more energy than that nuclear bomb that this other character just tanked a minute ago. And maybe you don't have weaponry. Maybe you can't physically damage them. Maybe your weapons can't. But maybe you have a spell. Yes, maybe you have some type of magical spell with enough potency behind it to actually deal with this opponent. And maybe this spell isn't necessarily from your own power. Maybe it's a different power source, but you still have the option to use the spell nonetheless, and it damages this nuclear bomb level durability. Well, then the attack potency or attack power of that specific spell would logically be around that level itself. Simply put, a character does not have to destroy something in order to be considered that level of attack power. You don't always have to demonstrate destructive capability in order to be considered a certain level of attack power. And even if you yourself don't have that level of physical attack power, well, maybe you have a weapon or maybe a spell or something along those lines up your sleeve that does have that level of attack power. Overall, I hope this video helps some of you out, and make sure to let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Also, before I go, I would like to say that I am still working on a video going over our statements important, and I'm working on some other versus battle videos as well. But as always, have a blessed day, folks. Peace.